when to speak to a divorce attorney, and how to move forward if you're worried your spouse will file first. Marriage isn't always easy. And for some couples, there comes a point where things get so difficult that you start wondering if divorce might be the only option. It's a tough place to be, especially when you're not sure what's going to happen next, or whether your spouse is thinking the same thing, or worse, planning to file for divorce first. If you've ever found yourself worrying about your spouse filing for divorce or questioning when it might be time to speak with a divorce attorney, you're not alone. These are difficult but important questions to ask. Today, I'm going to share some guidelines on when you might want to consider talking to a divorce attorney and how to move forward in your relationship if you're worried about what your spouse might do next. Step 1, recognize when it's time to speak to a divorce attorney. The first step is to recognize when it's time to speak to a divorce attorney. This doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to file for divorce or that you've given up on the marriage. In fact, speaking to an attorney early can help you understand your options and protect yourself, even if you're still working on the relationship. So, when should you consider this step? There are a few signs. If you're seeing a complete breakdown in communication, or if you feel like your spouse is hiding something from you, financially or emotionally, it might be time to consult with an attorney just to get some clarity. The same goes for situations where there's ongoing conflict, emotional abuse, or other behaviors that make you feel unsafe or uncertain about the future. It's important to remember that talking to a divorce attorney doesn't automatically mean divorce. It means you're getting informed so you can make the best decision for yourself and your family. Knowledge is power, and having that information can give you peace of mind while you work through your options. But what happens if you're still committed to the relationship and you're just worried about what your spouse might do next? That's where step 2 comes in. Step number 2, open communication with your spouse, if possible. The second step is to open communication with your spouse, if possible. I know this can feel incredibly difficult, especially if you're worried they might already be considering divorce. But in many cases, having an honest conversation about the state of your marriage can help both of you understand where the other person stands. Have you ever asked your spouse how they feel about the future of your relationship? And more importantly, are you ready to listen to their answer, even if it's not what you want to hear? Approach the conversation with curiosity and a desire to understand more rather than fear. You might say something like, "I've been feeling some distance between us lately, and I want to know how you're feeling about our relationship." This kind of open, non-confrontational approach can help ease tension and allow both of you to express your feelings honestly. But what if communication isn't possible, or you're worried that your spouse might file for divorce before you've had a chance to work things out? That's when you need to move on to step number 3. Step number 3, protect yourself and prepare for any outcome. The third step is to protect yourself and prepare for any outcome. If you're genuinely concerned that your spouse might file for divorce first, or if they've already hinted at it, it's important to take steps to protect your financial and your emotional well-being. This doesn't mean you've given up on the marriage, but it does mean you're prepared for whatever might happen next. So what does that look like? First, gather any important financial documents, bank statements, credit reports, retirement accounts, etc., so you can have a clear picture of your financial situation. You also want to consult with a divorce attorney to understand your rights and options. Again, this doesn't mean you're filing, but it does mean you're prepared if things move in that direction. For example, if you're worried about how child support or financial support might play out in a potential divorce, speaking to an attorney now can help you prepare and avoid any surprises. It's always better to be proactive, even if your ultimate goal is to stay together. The bottom line is that protecting yourself doesn't mean giving up on the relationship. It means you're taking care of yourself so that you can handle whatever comes next with clarity and confidence. So, to recap, if you're wondering when to speak to a divorce attorney, start by recognizing the signs, opening communication with your spouse, if possible, and protecting yourself in case your spouse files first. These steps can give you the clarity you need to move forward, whether that means working on the relationship or preparing for a new chapter. In the next video, I'll be discussing how to handle the emotional ups and downs of this process and stay grounded, even if you're unsure of the future. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and drop a comment below. How are you handling uncertainty in your relationship right now? Thank you and take care.